Josh, very good to see you. Today we are walking through the 6 critical risks that could derail your retirement. When it comes to retirement planning, it's not just about saving enough, it is about preparing for all the risks that could undo all of your hard work. So today we're going to break down the top 6. First is sequence risk. What is this?
Sequence risk is basically not knowing exactly when the positives and negatives are going to come in your returns. And the first couple years of retirement are the most crucial when this comes. So if we look at blue person here, and they have $100,000 and they're going to take 5% a year out, which is 5,000. And they have their year starts out with some good years before the bad years hit. And they can easily take 5% out with an average rate of return of 4%. And they're still okay. They actually made money even though they were taking 5% out and they only averaged a 4% return. Mm-hmm. Now, Investor Green tries to do the exact same thing, but the negatives come early in their retirement instead of late. They make the same 4% return, but in a different order. And all of a sudden, they not only don't make money, but their account dwindles quite fast with the 4% withdrawal rate. That's why rules of thumb are hard to follow.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that leads us to the second risk, which is withdrawal rate risk.
Right. Withdrawal rate risk is back to what we just said. A rule of thumb is you can take 4% out. Right. But if those negatives come in a bad time, that 4% can actually fail you.
Absolutely.
Right. And so that's why rules of thumb don't work in financial planning. We have to have specific plans for specific needs. And we have to continually review and adjust to make sure that you're not putting yourself in a bad position.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a moving target. Third is, of course, what could be one of your biggest expenses in retirement, healthcare, but also specifically the cost of long-term care. Josh, I know you know this already because you live in this world. 7 out of 10 people will need long-term care at some point. And this is a national range projected out to 2043. That's going to cost you anywhere from $124,000 to $211,000. That's incredible.
So yeah, and what's even more staggering statistic about that, Erin, is 7 out of 10 of us will need long-term care, but actually 4 out of 100 have actually done something about it.
Wow.
4% of Americans over 50 have planned for long-term care. And so that's even more staggering than the fact that 70% will need it when only 4% have done something about it.
Wow, yeah, that's really surprising.
It's a big, big future expense that a lot of people try to pretend like it's not going to happen.
Right. We just hope, and hope is not a plan.
Right.
Next, we have one of your favorite subjects, which is a huge risk for retirees, taxation.
Yes, this is the other of the 2 big expenses you haven't paid yet.
Yeah.
Taxation. And that's why I feel like we're always beating this drum, but taxes and tax planning in your retirement plan is huge. Because we were lied to a long time ago and they said, hey, save the money before you pay taxes on it because in the future, you're going to pay less taxes. And that's just not true, because the only way that's true is if A, taxes are going down. I have not talked to a single person that believes taxes are going down. Or B, you're willing to live on less income in retirement than you were when you were working. Well, inflation kind of kicks that one out the window because we know we can't live on less money because things keep getting more and more expensive.
Right. And Josh, you are leading me into each next risk, the next being inflation, the silent thief in the night.
Yes. If you think about 20 years ago, what gas and milk and bread cost versus now, and then realize that inflation has only gotten faster over the years.
Right.
It just keeps getting faster. It's like a ball rolling down a hill. At the top of the hill, it's rolling. And then by the time it gets to the bottom of the hill, it's rolling faster. And that's what inflation does to us. And so we have to anticipate that, yes, maybe later in life, you're going to do less, but those less things are going to cost more money. Right. So and then there's certain things that you're not going to be able to do for yourself, when you're 80 that you can do when you're 60.
Yeah, that too. And then last, we have the risk multiplier, longevity.
Yes, that kind of goes hand in hand with the inflation, but also that's a hard number to know because we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know how long the money needs to last. And my favorite thing is some people will say, well, I want my last check to bounce. And what I like to tell them is, okay, give me that date. No.
And then we can make it happen. Yeah.
So we don't know. So we need this money to last a long time, because with healthcare and all these things, people are living longer and longer and longer. And unfortunately, the longer you live, the more inflation kicks in and the more expensive things get. So inflation is a hard target to hit because we don't know. We don't have that crystal ball.
Right. So many variables. But Josh, just the chance to get to talk this through with you, you know these risks and you can make a plan that accounts for them. So if somebody wants to make sure they have a financial plan that accounts for all these moving targets and variables, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, they can call us at the office at 260-488-8300 or jump on the website and schedule a meeting from there at millardfg.com.
Great. Josh, thank you.
Thanks, Erin.